Welcome, everyone. Will you please stand with me for the entrance of the Green Run High School NJROTC Color Guard, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
In forward, face, color guard, halt, present, colors.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Carry, colors. Ready, cut, out, forward, face. Forward, march.
Please give a warm round of applause for the Green Run High School NJROTC Color Guard. Good evening. Buenas tardes. You know I have to give a shout out to my people there. I'm Luis Rivera, and from April 2013 to March 2022, I had the great privilege of serving on the Virginia Beach Human Rights Commission. And like other public servants, retired commissioners just don't fade away. We're asked to return and join in the festivities, and that's what I'm doing here tonight. It is my honor to serve as the Master of Ceremonies for this prestigious awards presentation, where we acknowledge the outstanding efforts of our fellow Virginia Beach citizenry. And at this time, I'd like to introduce HRC Chair Sylvia Neri Strickland and Vice Chair Dr. Virginia Ginger Jencott.
Hello. Good evening and welcome. Thank you. She's my second arm here. I'm Sylvia Neri Strickland, current chair of the Human Rights Commission and outgoing chair of the Human Rights Commission. I'll try not to say that too joyously. And thank you for helping to, honor our awardees tonight. And also, it's our 30th anniversary as a Human Rights Commission for Virginia Beach. I think that thank you, yes. We owe a great gratitude to our former and current leaders of the City of Virginia Beach for having the foresight to have a Human Rights Commission. In 1994, the concept of an HRC, Human Rights Commission, award ceremony, it happened when I was having pizza in front of a television, and Kim Knock-Ford had a automotive commercial, the first one that I saw, that used an African-American family buying a car from the sales lot with a flag flying in back. And I thought, you know, they should get some sort of recognition. This was back in 94, I think. Some recognition for that inclusivity. And we did. And thus the Human Rights Commission awards were born because there were so many deserving people like you. I feel certain tonight that it's going to be one of inspiration and recognition as we honor 7 extraordinary individuals and 3 organizations or initiatives that have furthered human rights. Before I turn the program over to awards, I would like to acknowledge the person beside me, as you know, Ginger, who has been beside me for 3 years and she's our current vice chair. We all know her as Ginger. And on behalf of the Human Rights Commission, I'd like to give my gratitude and appreciation for her dedication and hard work. While Ginger and I learned to work together, it was June of 2019, I think. We were elected, and in August of 2019, our liaison resigned, and the only support we had came from the already burdened Human Resources Department following 531. So it was a difficult time, and Ginger didn't miss a beat, as it seemed like each day we had one hurdle after another to jump over. Anyway, we supported each other most of the time by just talking each other into not quitting the next day. So my gratitude, thank you, Ginger, for being there always. And I'm sorry, this is the first time I've seen the script. If you guys can follow along with me, if you have copies, correct me if I'm wrong. I think now, am I supposed to turn it over to you?
Sure, that'd be a great idea since we're both awake at the same time right now. Thank you very much, Sylvia, and thank you for the 3 years of you're awake at 3 and 2 in the morning, and I'm up at 6. And so our conversations went like this, but it was great. Good evening, everyone. As Sylvia said, my name is Ginger Jenkout, and I've served with the commission for 5 years. It's my honor tonight to introduce all of the commissioners. But first, let me acknowledge their hard work and dedication through these past 2 years. The work of protecting human rights did not stop during a global pandemic. This commission and these commissioners never missed a beat. We continued to advocate for our brothers and sisters that did not have a voice. We stood up to advocate in areas of concern, such as homelessness, mental illness issues, and racism. The pandemic created a new area of human rights concerns for our seniors who were locked down without access to their families in nursing homes. I'm proud to be working alongside these other commissioners, and at this time I'll introduce them. Commissioners, when I call your name, would you please stand and remain standing? And then audience, if you wait till the end, we'll applaud all of them. Sylvia, you're already standing. Okay. Beatrice Emberman, Joe Burnsworth, David Calliot, Tommy Cubine, Heidi Daniels, Jamal Gunn, Jojo Orencia, Luis Rivera, Teresa Stanley, Mark Stevens, Ron Taylor, Francis Knight Thompson, Allison White, and Rabbi Israel Zoberman. And these are the Human Rights Commissioners. Thank you all. I would also like to recognize the staff and liaisons that assist the Commission on a regular basis. The Honorable Mayor Dyer, Councilman Michael Berlucci, Patrick Duhaney, who is the City Manager, Regina Hilliard, Director of Human Resources, Stacy Hawks, Employee Relations Manager, Dominique McKinnon, she's our right hand, right foot, and left foot, Human Resources, Rod Ingram, Deputy City Attorney, Deputy Chief Billy Dean, Deputy Chief Sean Adams from Virginia Beach Police Department, Lieutenant Lois Thompson, Virginia Beach Sheriff's Department, Captain Henry Norris, Virginia Beach Sheriff's Department. I think I saw Sheriff Stoley here also. Yes. Oh, thank you so much. Lieutenant Shelley Meister, the LGBT liaison from the Virginia Beach Police Department. Dr. Lakeisha Parrott, who is the Virginia Beach City Public Schools liaison. And lastly, Jennifer Franklin, who is the Virginia Beach City Public Schools Board Liaison. We have Vice Mayor Rosemary Wilson also. Not on my list, but we love that you're here tonight. Thank you so much. And Councilman Berlucci sent remarks. He's on our commission also, started out on our commission. He sent remarks tonight, which will be read by Luis Rivera.
Good evening. I'm very sorry I'm not able to be with you in person. Thank you for this opportunity to share a few thoughts through this message. First, congratulations to each of the Human Rights Award recipients. Thank you for what you do for our city and enjoy your special evening. One of the greatest privileges and most rewarding experiences I have had in public life is serving as a member of the Human Rights Commission and now as a City Council liaison to the Commission. For 30 years, the Human Rights Commission has brought together people from different backgrounds and perspectives in order to advance and protect human rights and dignity and respect for all Virginia Beach residents and visitors. I am deeply grateful for the investment of time and talent that each past and present Human Rights Commission commissioner, volunteer, partner has made into the social health of our great city. Thank you for supporting human rights as we approach the end of the term for our chairwoman, Sylvia Neri Strickland. I would like to offer her a special congratulations and thank you. Sylvia has been a fixture of the Human Rights Commission for decades. Sylvia should be credited with many of the advances we have made toward becoming a more inclusive and welcoming city, where everyone is treated with respect and dignity we deserve. It was an honor and also a lot of fun to serve with Sylvia. She has become a close friend and trusted advisor. Her impact as a steady organizing and driving force for the Commission and for the human rights in general cannot be overstated. She knows our city, works collaboratively with our community, City Council, and staff, but she is never afraid to stand up and speak out on behalf of human rights and kindness. Although her term as chair is ending, I know Sylvia's commitment to the Commission and to our city will endure long into the future, and I look forward to contributing to work in partnership with her. Please join me in thanking Sylvia for her service and congratulating her on her many accomplishments. Well done, Sylvia. They magically appeared.
Wow! I didn't know you were a magician too. Thank you, Louis. Well read.
No problem, no problem. Beautiful flowers for a beautiful person. And now, to another great contributor of our city's success. This evening, I have the honor of introducing an outstanding servant leader who has offered never-ending support and commitment to the Virginia Beach Human Rights Commission. He and the other members of the City Council continually convey the importance of appreciating and supporting our community's various dimensions of diversity. Please join me in welcoming the Honorable Mayor Robert M. Bobby Dyer.
You know, it's cool, this guy's my neighbor. But I'll tell you, what a blast to be here tonight. Isn't it great to be together? Isn't it great to honor those who deserve to be honored? And I want to thank Sylvia for her time. We've worked together. Just a little background. I was been involved with the Human Rights Commission when I was first graced by the voters in 2004 to become a city council member. And as mayor, I have really come to appreciate everyone, your mission, and realize it takes people to interact with people and do the right things for the right reason. And you have done such exemplary work over time. It is unbelievable. And I'm going to put the prepared remarks aside and speak from my heart. Virginia Beach is a great city. And I will tell you for a fact, no mayor does anything by him or herself. It's the people. We have been through tragedy, and we came together. We have been through challenges of the COVID, and your reach to the communities has been exemplary. You know, we're a city, a large city of 460,000 of many diversities. We're a proud city. And after the 531 tragedy, we were at the Rock Church, and I remember saying that the strength of Virginia Beach are the people of Virginia Beach. We are a faith-based community of many faiths and people of different backgrounds and diversities, the true glue that holds us together. Virginia Beach has proven to be a city of resiliency and tenacity because of folks like you that have stepped to the plate. Since I've been involved with the Human Rights Commission, there has been a continuous, a seamless continuum of excellence of people that have come forward to serve, working with our great police department and the other agencies. You know, people like Neva that works with us, and the people that work, you know, within our city to work so hard and collaboratively with each other. You know, we are the heart and soul, 30 years, created out of chaos and tragedy. You have been a steady tiller on the ship of Virginia Beach that really has held us together. And I just can't say heartfelt enough how much I'm proud to be among you. Even when I'm not here, I am among you, because you are collectively some of the finest people that I've ever met in my life. I don't know everybody in the audience, but I know of you. I know of your commitment. I know about your caring and compassion and what it takes to make a great city, a caring city, an inclusive city, where we welcome everybody. And we want everybody to have that equal access, that they can come to Virginia Beach, call it their home, and not only survive, but thrive among the people that have a tremendous amount of respect and dignity for each other. So on behalf of Rosemary and the City Council, on behalf of our staff, our city manager, Ron Ingram, a stellar warrior who kind of keeps the ship going in the right direction, right, Ron? Yeah. Let me just say thank you, and God bless you. And I not only thank you what you have done, what you're doing, but I'm thanking you about taking the mission forward to continue to make Virginia Beach the great city that it is, the city of the people. Thank you. And now, I am proud to read this proclamation. Whereas after the events of the 1989 Labor Day weekend, a fellowship committee was formed, and after 8 months of research, the committee recommended that the Human Rights Commission be established in the city of Virginia Beach on August 6, 1991. City Council adopted the ordinance creating the Virginia Beach Human Rights Commission. And whereas on February 4th, 1992, 11 persons representative of the diversity of the residents in our city were appointed by the City Council to serve in a voluntary capacity on the Human Rights Commission. and the first meeting to organize the commission was held on March 12th of 1992. Whereas the Virginia Beach Human Rights Commission was charged to conduct and engage in educational and informational programs for the promotion of mutual understanding and respect among the citizens, serve as the forum for the discussion of human rights issues, and to provide assistance to persons who believe their rights may have been violated by referring them to the appropriate federal, state, or local agencies to confront the complaints. Whereas, since the Virginia Beach Human Rights Commission has conducted a multitude of forums in the community, coordinated annual programs that acknowledge area residents for their actions related to human rights and celebrates our city's diversity, conducted numerous issue studies, and advised countless citizens with human rights concerns. Whereas in 1994, the Virginia Beach Human Rights Commission started the annual awards program to honor the individuals and groups within the community that have worked tirelessly for the advocacy of human rights, diversity, and inclusion for all residents. And in 1994, the Virginia Beach Human Rights Commission started the annual award program to honor individual groups within the community that have worked tirelessly for the advocacy of human rights, diversity, and inclusion for all residents of their Virginia Beach community. Whereas the Human Rights Commission continues to contribute to the strength of Virginia Beach by working with city leadership and community organizations to protect the rights for all. Now, therefore, I, Bobby Dyer, Mayor of the City of Virginia Beach, do hereby recognize the 30th anniversary of the Virginia Beach Human Rights Commission, and I call this observance in attention of all our citizens, our grateful citizens. Thank you all. God bless you.
Thank you for your kind words, Mayor Neighbor. As Chair Neri Strickland said, tonight we will honor 7 individuals and 3 organizations or initiatives for their service and commitment to human rights since 1994. Our commission has presented annual awards, as was mentioned, to honor individuals and groups who have demonstrated a commitment to the promotion of respect and understanding among people of diverse backgrounds. This recognition program gives our community the opportunity to nominate individuals, community groups, organizations, and businesses for meritorious service in the pursuit of human rights. A brief bio will be read for each recipient, highlighting their accomplishments. Each award recipient is asked to join the presenters on stage when your name is announced. And now, our awards presentation. And please, as a reminder, would you come this way, the awardees, and exit that way. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to call Sylvia and Ginger up again.
Hello, Ginger. The first recipient this evening is former Chief of Police James Severa. It is most fitting on our 30th anniversary that we recognize Chief Severa, as he was the first recipient of the very first Human Rights Award almost 30 years ago. As a former chief of police, James Severa was always there to support the Virginia Beach community and help build relationships between the citizens and Virginia Beach Police Department. We first met when we worked closely with the Philippine American community to help redirect some of the energies some of our young Filipino Americans were exhibiting through gangs and gang activities. Oh, didn't you have a card? You didn't. But we're well rehearsed. Tonight we honored James Severa. You get to say something.
They said I get to say a few words, and if you know me, stand by. I thank you so much. I am very honored, and I accept this on behalf of the men and women of the Virginia Beach Police Department. I said for a number of years, it's easy to be the chief. It's easy to be the chief of our department because we have such fantastic staff who really cares. Can I give a few examples? Tony Zuccaro will be recognized later. I will speak on his behalf later. But I want you to know that Billy Dean is sitting to my side, and Deputy Chief Dean came up with programs that are now known nationwide. I teach leadership around the country, and one of the leadership programs we teach, Billy designed. And then the IACP took it over. They put copyrights to it. So what Billy designed, we then had to pay to get the books. Deputy Chief Pat Gallagher, if you ever go into the 2nd Precinct, you'll see a beautiful monument there to the first black officers of our department. Deputy Chief Gallagher was the one who designed that. He's the one who did the homework. And what we said was those officers are our Tuskegee Airmen. And that has resonated throughout the community, and we pay them due respect. You're going to honor the Hispanic Police Academy officers tonight. What a fantastic job that they did. By the way, folks, that's also known nationwide because I tout it every time I go somewhere. And just briefly to let you know, it was David Nieves who came up with the idea and just started to run with it. And so at the first meeting that they had, I came midway through the meeting, and his beautiful wife was speaking, and other officers were speaking. And I said, "Where's David?" And they said, "He's on the side." So I went to Monica and said, "How come he's not speaking?" She said, "Well, he doesn't speak Spanish." I said, "Okay." And so I used that, and when I saw him, I said, "You don't speak Spanish?" And he pointed right in my chest, and he goes, "And you don't speak Italian." So we had that relationship. The point is, fantastic police agency, and thank you so much. And I accept this on behalf of everyone, including Cindy, who's sitting down front, who put up with all 42 years of this particular job. Thank you so much.
Oh, picture? Since we're all well rehearsed, did the mayor want you to come up and give him this picture?
Rosemary, we're a family affair here.
Anybody else want to get in?
Why don't you all come up?
I didn't want to miss anything. Are we leaving?
Yeah, I thought so.
I can take a hint, Louis.
Commissioner Beatrice and Mark, please come step forward. By the way, just a little bit of housekeeping. if we're taking the pictures now, then do we still take pictures after the whole event?
This is a celebration.
Maybe we should hold off the pictures till the end of the, what do you think?
Usually
Good?
people-
I didn't hear it, but I'm hoping it's.
What are the instructions? All right, perfect.
Well, good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Mark Stevens with the Human Rights Commission.
Thank you, Mark, and I'm Beatrice Amberman. I thank you so much, all of you, to come here today and help us honor all these outstanding citizens in this gorgeous and outstanding city of Virginia Beach. And I just wanted to take a moment and say that this is a befitting honor that we're going to bestow into the next group, coming right after Chief Cervera. And I just wanted to say that almost 3 years ago, we began having that conversation and dialogue with the Virginia Beach community, the Hispanic community. So thank you, Chief. You are basically an example of what community policing is all about. Thank you. And our second recipients are the instructors of the Hispanic Citizens Police Academy. And my partner here is allowing me to do the entire presentation. So I am going to share with you that in August of 2019, a Hispanic Citizens Police Academy was developed due to the many requests of the citizens of Virginia Beach. Master Police Officer David J. Nieves was selected by Chief Cervera to lead this outreach effort. We grieve the passing of MPO David Nieves, but we know that he is here in spirit with all of us and proud of his wife, Monica, and his fellow teammates. We love you and you made him proud. MPO Nieves had 2 months to design the Hispanic Citizens Police Academy and formed a team consisting of Spanish-speaking officers, people that have served our community for many, many years. Carlos Sanier, Ryan Caraballo, and Cynthia Santiago. The team was named Team Hispanica. You made us proud. They worked fast and diligently over the next 2 months, building a program that included topics such as patrol techniques, law, citizens' rights, scenario training, and field trips to the jail and special operations where all the toys were held, such as the helicopter, the SWAT trucks, and the bomb squad, etc. Within 2 weeks, they were only had 2 weeks left. Let me tell you, the outstanding effort is incredible. And I know because, a lot of people think that all Latinos live in one place and it is easy to reach everybody. So within 2 weeks left before the time to begin, MPO Nieves met with several Virginia Beach citizens who helped recruit people for the first Hispanic Police Academy class. They reached out to restaurants, stores, bodegas, radio stations, colleges, and the Adult Learning Center. And they were able to recruit also from the English as a Second Language class. MPO Nieves challenged the Hispanic community to stay open-minded and believe in the system. Through their efforts, the first day of class, the team started with 75 civilians. Their class learned that there were several Latino officers out on the streets, and after 10 weeks of class, many of them asked how they could join the department or volunteer their services. At the end of the program, the team had a great finale, and the graduation was amazing. MPO Nieves and his wife, Monica. Well, Monica mainly did a lot of the work, and we gotta say that she gathered donations, orchestrated the food, and decorated the gym for graduation. The graduation day included the mayor, the deputy chiefs, and hundreds of family members of the graduates. The feedback from our first Hispanic Academy was that they truly felt like they now were part of the Virginia Beach community. Team Hispanica truly exemplifies inclusiveness, diversity, education, and the furthering of human rights. Tonight, please join me in honoring the instructors of the Hispanic Citizens Police Academy who bring with them the spirit of MPO Nieves. But let me call to this stage a couple of heroes that I know also have worked very hard for decades for our community. Carlos Sanier, Ryan Caraballo, and Cynthia Santiago. Please come forward.
When David came up to me and asked me if I wanted to be part of this Team Hispanica, I had no idea how big this was going to be. You know, there are not many of us in the police department that not only speaks a second language, but can write in that language as well. So he came up with this idea. Sanier and we diligently translated a lot of the material, and I had no idea how many people were actually going to show up, because, you know, sometimes we invite people to all these events, we bring this up, and we get a small turnout. But I was shocked with the amount of people who were interested in what we had to say, who were willing to learn, and we ended up almost building a second family. Many of these people are still part of Team Hispanica, who continually help us contribute and reach out to the new people who want to join the academy. We had a second academy a year ago, right before David passed away. And we also had a successful amount of people who passed and graduated and learned a lot. We're going to start up our third Hispanic Citizens Police Academy in October of this year. And if you guys know anybody, we're always recruiting.
I'm just going to take just a few seconds to thank everyone that's here. I want to thank the police department for the support that they provided to us, from late Chief Cervera to Chief Paul Nordigate. The police department has been right there with us with this effort to reach out to the community. David was the mastermind. It is an honor to be able to follow his legacy and continue to provide services to the community. And I know that he's watching from above and that he's proud of his wife, who's also very involved with the community, Monica. And we also have some people that were in the academy before, and they still represent us and help us getting things together whenever we have efforts for the academy, the next upcoming academy. So thank you, everyone.
Now, Commissioners David and Francis, if you'll step forward.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Frances Knight Thompson, and I am a Human Rights Commissioner. And the third recipient tonight is Roderick Ingram, my friend. Rod Ingram, hope you don't mind me saying Rod, is a deputy city attorney for the City of Virginia Beach, where he leads his office's policy and administration section and supervises 4 attorneys and 3 paralegals. He serves as the city's public policy attorney, and among his many duties, he serves also as legal counsel to the city's Human Rights Commission. Over the years, Roderick Ingram has not just been legal counsel for the Human Rights Commission, but a major part of our team. His heart has been in beat with ours in the promotion and support of the marginalized and underrepresented. He has made himself available beyond regular working hours and weekends when the Human Rights Commission has needed his counsel. He could easily do his job, go home, and not answer our calls, but he always does, no matter how minor the issue.
The HRC's work is not always easy, and we are sometimes presented with complex issues, and only with Mr. Ingram's commitment and expertise do we see our way forward. And if you've ever come to one of our meetings, you know that 5 to 10 times a meeting, we all look at Rod and say, are we allowed to do this? And he always knows the answer somehow. During the past few years, the HRC has encountered several unique challenges, including the tragedy of May 31st and COVID-19. Mr. Ingram has continued to be a source of guidance, rooted in his support of human rights, diversity, and inclusion. He has always done this with compassion and with a positive attitude, which is so important to the work that we do. So tonight, we honor Roderick Ingram.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I was told to keep it to under 3 minutes, so I figured I better write it out. I began serving as legal counsel to the HRC more than 21 years ago in April 2001. And I'll let you in on a little secret. When I started, my boss said, Rod, your job is to keep them out of trouble. And those of you who have followed the HRC the past 2 decades know I have not always succeeded in that task. But fortunately, the vast majority of the trouble into which the Human Rights Commission has found itself was that good trouble that the late Congressman John Lewis spoke of and inspired in others. Despite changes in membership and leadership through the last 20 years, the Human Rights Commission has consistently worked to improve the lives of Virginia Beach residents by advocating for human rights and for the respect and dignity due to all of our neighbors and fellow citizens, including those with different beliefs, different life experiences, and different perspectives. I've had the privilege to serve under 7 HRC chairs, including former Judge Gene Woolard, Reverend Billy Dyson, Faye Silverman, the late Father Jim Park, Cliff Rice, Raj Islam, but most especially, the lady who's been with me on the journey since the very beginning, Sylvia. Sylvia and the HRC have been through quite a lot since her term as chair began a little early in March of 2019. Thank you, Sylvia, for your compassionate and steadfast leadership during these challenging times. Finally, I'd like to thank my partner of the past 15 years, my husband, Dan. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Sylvia. And thank you, HRC. Yes. Whatever you do, don't forget the hardware. Commissioner Jamal, will you join me?
Hey everyone. I came in late, so I gotta get a formality out the way. Can everybody do me a really quick favor? Can everybody please just put their hands up like this really quickly and wiggle them about? Thank you. I just wanted to shake hands with everybody in the room. Just wanted to get that out of the way.
I gotta use that.
Okay, everybody, again, you guys look great, by the way. You look a lot better than me, but that's not a bad thing. Our fourth recipient is Monica Nieves Pestana. Monica Nieves Pestana has been a driving force in the Hispanic community since August of 2019, when she was recruited to assist in the first ever Hispanic Citizens Police Academy. She translated all the materials that were used to teach the English-speaking academy into Spanish, and as mentioned, took it upon herself to recruit students for the academy as she noticed an initial lack of interest in attendance. She traveled to Hispanic supermarkets, storefronts, and restaurants in the area to get the message out. Her efforts helped grow the number from 0 to 75 applicants in the initial 35-person class. For 10 weeks, she opened the class, welcoming everyone and making sure they all felt comfortable. She gained the trust and support of the community and soon found herself being called on at all times of the night to assist with their concerns. They called for reasons such as car accidents, domestic abuse, sexual child abuse, wanted individuals in the community, and so much more. They finally felt empowered knowing that they had an outlet. Her name quickly spread, and soon she was receiving calls from the Hispanics in Norfolk, Newport News, Hampton, and even as far as Richmond.
In December of 2020, Monica collected donated gifts and money to help families in need for the holidays. On Christmas morning, with her husband dressed as Santa Claus, they delivered the gifts to the children's homes to enjoy a joyful time with Santa. Monica's efforts, commitment to others, and her caring heart truly supports the respect and understanding of diversity in our community. Tonight, we are so proud to honor Monica Nieves Pestana.
Hello, everybody. Well, English is not my first language, so bear with me with my accent. When I started with my husband, he had a different mind when it was about Hispanic. When he met me and I started telling stories about my friends, I came here with a student visa and how we sacrifice our, friends and family and the others who just come here with the documents and stuff like that. So he started thinking and say, hey, baby, how if we start something and this is something? So like Lieutenant Sanders said, he was the mastermind. And every time that he had a smallest idea, he was just eating, having lunch. How about this? How about that? And I was like, okay, what if we add this and that? So thanks to him, I'm the better woman now. He pushed me, like literally pushed me, telling, hey, go and tell this. Hey, go and say that. And teach our community not to be a victim, to empower them, to just because they just came here with or without documents, and some of them don't speak English, don't believe that you're a victim. You just try your best. And that's what he always wanted them to know, to go work, learn English. That's one of he was like, you come here, you need to learn English. So I'm so grateful to be here, and I really appreciate this award, and I know part of that award is his. Thank you so much.
I will stay up here.
I am so very proud to announce that our fifth recipient this evening is the Pastor Leader Community Police Relations Table. In November of 2015, the Pastors Leader Community Relations Table was formed as a response to human rights issues around the community and police relationships. The table has welcomed and made room for diverse voices to address issues of concern that law enforcement and community members may be facing in community police relationships. The ongoing 6-year commitment of these community folks partnering together to positively advocate for initiatives such as mediation implementation, a paid cadet program, racial profiling data collection, increasing diversity in the law enforcement profession, and an increasing transparency and trust has resulted in more inclusivity for our community. The table has made efforts to assist in addressing the treatment of those with mental health conditions, sexual orientation differences, economic and cultural differences, as well as those experiencing homelessness, leading to potential criminalization. Members of law enforcement, as well as community members, have worked together in a mission of proactive relationship building for a safe city with law enforcement professionals that protect the human rights of all and reflect the demographics of those they serve. And so tonight, we are happy and delighted and proud to honor the Pastors Leader Community Police Relations Table, represented by the table facilitator, Dr. Veronica Coleman, and a few of the community members.
Good evening. It is my honor and pleasure to accept this award on behalf of the Pastors and Leaders Roundtable. As Teresa has noted, we are a diverse group of individuals. I am the facilitator of the table, but it comprises those. We have faith leaders, we have community leaders, we have students, and then we have the senior leadership of the Virginia Beach Police Department. And together, as you can imagine, of the climate that we've been through, our country as well as our community has endured in the last few years, sometimes our conversations get a little tough. Sometimes our conversations get a little tense, but our conversations are always true and they are always necessary. And we work through what needs to be worked through so that we can make the progress that we have made and will continue to make. We are thankful tonight for the continued commitment by the Virginia Beach Police Department to this table, because without them, it would not work. And so we've always said that as long as they show up, we'll show up. And so I just want to say tonight, thank you to retired Chief Severa, thank you to retired Chief Zakara, and thank you to Chief Newdigate, because not only have they attended and been a part of this table, but they've made sure that we had the resources that we needed, that they've provided the information that we've asked for, that they've worked together with us to make sure that the work of this table continues. And so together with those who are standing with me tonight, as well as all the other members of the table, we say thank you, and the work continues.
Commissioner Carla, will you step forward?
Good evening. Our sixth recipient is the Virginia Beach Mobile Co-Responder Team. A joint effort between the Virginia Beach Police Department, the Virginia Beach Department of Human Services, and the Virginia Beach Emergency Management Services. The mission of the Mobile Co-Responder Team is to provide mobile crisis intervention and mobile crisis stabilization to the residents of the city of Virginia Beach. This effort is designed to deliver necessary, effective strategies at the location and at the time that stabilization services are needed by providing a mental health professional, a CIT-trained police officer, and a CIT-trained EMS medic to respond to these incidents in the field. The services provided are intended to facilitate an efficient transition to a treatment center and effective for the restoration and health of all of our community members.
In responding to incidents involving people in crisis, the multidisciplinary team ensures safety and security. The presence and actions of the CIT-trained officer and the clinician who conduct assessments identify needs and courses of actions to provide relief and treatment. When possible, medical screening intended to facilitate the transition to a treatment facility is accomplished in the field. The outcomes of this service are remarkable and of a tremendous benefit to our community. When the team is deployed to an incident, an arrest is avoided in 98.1% of these cases. The team is successful in avoiding involuntary civil committal to restorative mental health treatment in 99% of the cases. It's amazing. And the team's success rate continues in avoiding to take the person into physical custody under the emergency custody order for a mental health screening in 88% of the responded cases. The mobile co-response team has become the new face of crisis intervention for the city of Virginia Beach. Tonight, we are grateful to honor the Virginia Beach Mobile Co-Responder Team. Don't be shy now.
Yeah. Come on.
Ladies first. Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Do we have to say just a
Yes, you
couple
do.
words?
Please
Yeah.
do. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Billy is letting me talk first, which is amazing, but it's hard to go after him, so it's kind of nice that I'm able to talk first. This has been just a joy, this whole partnership. It started back in 2018, has been remarkably successful with no additional resources. So I want you to know that the staff that we have over here, who are just magnificent, are doing this, and we really kind of plucked them from other areas of emergency services and brought them onto the team. And so we want to expand it, of course, and we will try to do that in the future. But I can't say enough about the remarkable emergency services staff members that we have. They have to work at all times, overnight, any shift, and when they go out there, they have that listening ear to figure out what is the best course of action with this person's own rights in mind. And so they do that every time that they talk with someone who is having a mental health crisis, and that is your worst time of your life. And so they are remarkable people who listen and take care of others before themselves, and I just can't thank you enough. I'm very proud to be a member of your team, so thank you.
I'll make my remarks very brief. We have a wonderful team that we learn a lot from each other, being able to take care of the patients out in the field and the clients out in the field versus bring them to maybe an inappropriate facility because that's what's convenient. We're able to go out into the field and go out to the communities and be trusted in the people that they look for the CIT emblem on the uniforms of our officers and our medics and realize these are trusted professionals that are willing to help them through their mental crisis. And as you mentioned, that we're doing this with the resources that we have now. And it's amazing that even with our volunteers within the system for EMS, they'll take 40 hours off of leave from their job to attend a CIT training course to learn how to take care of these mental health emergencies that we're having out in the field, in addition to everything else they're doing. And our career providers are doing the same, working hand in hand. So I thank you for the recognition of all the providers that are out there and the future recognition of all the good that they're able to do out in the field to provide these services.
So I want to start and make sure I'm good with Rod. Are we good, Rod? Just watch what I say, correct? Okay, I'll do my best. As I look out at, first and foremost, all the folks who have made this come to a reality, the folks over on this corner of the room, I want to say that I appreciate the work that they've done. There's some key people that helped us get it started from the very beginning, and they're here with us too. We made sure that they were included. But Cheryl St. John, Sarah Corrado, James Gordon, Andrea Brigg, Nate Whitsack was one of our first officers. Tragically, we lost Nate as well, so he'd be an honor tonight as well with us. So we wanted to make sure that all the people that work are recognized appropriately. Many years ago, probably about halfway through my career, I worked with the liaison of Captain Ray Boswell. He was the liaison, Human Rights Commission, and I was one of his lieutenants at the time, and he would tell us about the HRC meetings, and I was always so very interested, and I was honored to be able to be a small part of it at the end of my career. Just to sit in as the liaison was a joy. When Ray retired, Ray made a speech at his retirement ceremony that says he wanted to remind all the police that you do far more with your humanity as a police officer than you ever will with your authority. And I took that to heart. We had a little plaque put up for Ray, hung in his internal affairs office, and that has stayed with me for so long. Commensurately, about that time, I was rewriting policies for the police department, and I wanted to try to find a way to fit that in. But in our first policy, I brought forward what I thought was important to recognize the functions of the police department was to, combat crime and criminal conduct, to provide safety in the community, but also to serve as a social resource. So when I wrote that in, that was my little bit nod to Ray, and that's what I thought was important. I thought that was important because one of the people sitting in the front row here made that a priority for us as well. So in our leadership class, which he mentioned, what gets done in an organization is what the boss checks on. Chief Severa always checked on us to make sure that we were treating people with unconditional respect and treating them with dignity no matter what the situation was, and gave us wide latitude to implement programs that made our organization better. So we are forever grateful to the first recipient of the Human Rights Award. How appropriate. I saw that in his office every time. So we're honored to be recognized by the commission. We know what it's like for you guys to make a decision like that. We're very proud the police department is recognized again tonight with the Hispanic Police Academy and now this. And we are also very proud of all the awards that we have won over the years. It really does speak to the health of our community when citizens recognize that the police department is a part of the human rights factor. Thank you very much. So can we bring up our guys up for the picture too?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Bring everybody.
Come on, fellas, picture time. Everybody.
No.
don't have any good jokes like Jamal did, so, I mean, you can stick your hands up, you know, again, if you want to, but I don't have any good ones like him.
Our next award recipient is Neva White. In 2018, Virginia Beach City received a Municipal Equality Index score of 50 out of 100 points given by the National Human Rights Campaign. This scorecard gives points in 5 areas showing how inclusive a municipality is in its laws, policies, and services for the LGBTQ people that live and work in our city. Virginia Beach has taken a positive action forward in the effort of improving the inclusivity of our community and workplaces with Neva White, LGBTQ liaison, at the lead. Today, Virginia Beach proudly has a score of 100 out of 100 points on the Municipal Equality Index, thanks to Neva's efforts.
NEVA convened an MEI work group that drafted and submitted a youth bullying prevention policy. She advanced the initiative to inventory all of the single-stall bathrooms in our city buildings that will have gender-neutral signage placed on them. They will provide a safe space for our transgender residents, employees, and visitors. She promoted the Virginia Beach Human Services Department offering a free HIV/AIDS testing to both the community and employees. She promoted the Benefits Office to provide information for Virginia Beach employees regarding transgender inclusive health benefits, creating an additional way to ensure that people know that the city of Virginia Beach is welcoming to all who want to work here. She assisted the human resources staff to make sure that we do not discriminate by providing our policy stance directly on the city's recruiting page. Neva has been a tireless advocate for moving Virginia Beach forward as an inclusive community.
Tonight, we honor Neva White.
I am very honored by this award recognizing my work for the LGBT community. First and foremost, I would like to thank my biggest supporter, my wife, Jill Blake, who's put up with me for 26 years and who herself works every day to support the students in her care at Bayside High School. I'd also like to recognize Ken Chandler, Deputy City Manager, who's always supported me in this role, and Dave Hansen, previous city manager, who showed leadership in assigning me to it in the first place. There are many people in the city who helped me get these policies changed for the better, and many who began the work before I took it over, including Rod Ingram. I personally do this work I do every day to help others, and particularly our children. LGBT youth are not inherently prone to suicide risk because of their sexual orientation or gender identity, but rather placed at higher risk because they are mistreated and stigmatized in society. I would be remiss if I did not mention that our local school board just banned an LGBT book yesterday. While I have worked to make city policies, procedures, and services more welcoming to the LGBT community, that work means nothing if we aren't all working together to let the LGBT children in our community know that they are safe, welcomed, and respected for who they are. I thank you for this recognition, and I hope we can all work together for a better future for all of our children. Clearly, there is still work to be done. Thank you.
Commissioner Tommy, will you please step forward?
Good evening. I'm Tommy Cubine. Our 8th recipient is Jen Williams, who is director of NAMI Coastal Virginia. May is Mental Health Month, by the way, and how appropriate it is to recognize Jen Williams during this month for her outstanding leadership in increasing mental health awareness. You know, one of the most stigmatizing populations are people with mental illness. And there probably is no person who has worked harder to increase opportunities for them and their families so that they can have be valued members of our community than Jen Williams. Following her attendance at NAMI, at a NAMI family-to-family class in 2014, she immediately became a hard-working volunteer. And in 2018, because of her proven dedication and skills, she was employed by NAMI Coastal Virginia to become the affiliate director. And she has continued as director. And under her leadership, the organization has grown significantly, providing an increase in the number of classes and support groups for families and consumers from different age groups and ethnicities, providing numerous educational programs in the community. Of note, NAMI teamed up with the Norfolk Admirals Night at one of their recent games. And this was the second year they had done that. And it was a very exciting evening with the Admirals playing special tribute to NAMI and mental health awareness. And there were many resource tables visited by many spectators. NAMI Coastal Virginia president said of Jen, she is known for her creativity in coming up with initiatives. Jen is always in the background orchestrating it all. For example, NAMI partnered with Hampton Roads Pride for a program at the Chrysler Museum. They sponsored another program in the community on minority mental health in communities, minority mental health in our communities. Now, additionally, Jen has worked diligently for housing for people with mental health conditions.
Jen has worked to increase educational programs for people with mental health conditions, families, and community education programs. She initiated monthly online coastal chats with presentations by mental health professionals. Jen is also an active member of the Virginia Beach Human Rights Commission's Mental Health Task Force. The overall goal of Jen's work is directed at furthering the human rights of people living with mental illness by providing support and education and their families to strengthen their ability to survive and thrive in the community. Tonight, we're very happy to honor Jen Williams. You can say a few words if you'd like.
You know, I really don't feel like I deserve this. I truly don't, but I am so appreciative of it. I am appreciative of the Human Rights Commission for being so supportive of NAMI over the years. It means so much to us to have them in our corner. I want to recognize a few people here. Kay Ashby, for one, my date tonight. She is a never-ending source of wisdom for me. she voluntold me into NAMI and voluntold me into teaching and then voluntold me into working there. And I'm so grateful to her because it's been the best experience of my life. I have never worked with a group of people who I sincerely care for so much. They are people who, because of circumstances in their life, have decided they want to get involved in advocating for people with mental health conditions, and they are just such caring individuals. I want to also shout out to Sarah Corrado and to Cheryl St. John, who I call more times than I'm sure they would like to hear from me, with questions about what to do, what do I do about this, what do I do about that. And also Scott Witchendall, who used to be on our board. He was a huge help with us. I want to also shout out to Tommy. Tommy, I know you all know that she has had a long and illustrious career in helping people in mental health, and she is also a mentor to me, and I sincerely appreciate you suggesting that I receive this award. But really, the award goes to the affiliate, and I'm not trying to be humble, I really mean it. It's a collaborative effort. It always has been. Everybody gives their heart and soul to this, and we do what we do together. I do want to just say one thing that maybe isn't so pleasant, and that is that I think that people who live with a mental health condition get the short stick, and I'm really tired of it. They're not treated with the respect they deserve. They're our sons, our daughters, our husbands, our fathers, our friends, and I think sometimes they're treated as second-class citizens, and I hope that changes very soon. It's going to be I think it's going to be a long process. It's getting better. We're seeing improvements, and the city employees have certainly been very helpful. I'm very grateful to the crisis intervention team officers. That's a huge step in the right direction in understanding that these people are not acting of their own volition. They are people who have a physical illness in their brain, just like you might if you had a heart condition. But the people that live with mental illness are not treated like people who have heart conditions. And that's what we're striving for, to make sure that there's a quality in the services that they receive, which they don't currently, that they have supportive housing, which they don't have enough of. And most importantly, I receive calls several times a week from loved ones saying, my son, daughter, husband, child is coming out of a psychiatric hospital. They're not stable yet. I don't know what to do. Where can they go? Where can they stay to become stable? And it breaks my heart to say, I don't know. I don't know. There aren't. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. We need to have long-term hospitalization so that people can truly get stable and live their lives. When you come out of a psychiatric hospital after 5 days, you're not stable. And they sometimes can go home, sometimes they can't go home. So where do they go? They're lying in the overpasses and the places down at the beach or wherever. They go wherever they can, and we've got to do better than we do now. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I know exactly what she was talking about because I have a friend who is a motion picture producer, director, actor. He's made many motion pictures that have gone all over the world. And he moved from Virginia to Minnesota because Virginia did not have the mental health services for one of his children. We can't lose people like that. So we have to do something. Thank you so much for the words that you gave us. And now, if we can have Joe and Allison up, Commissioners Joe and Allison, thank you so much. Jen.
Good evening, I'm Joe Burnsworth, and this evening we are happy to present our 9th recipient, Laura Wood Hubbard. Social awareness for issues from LGBTQ acceptance, voting registration, homeless youth, and environmental concerns are documented through Laura's history on community boards and committees. She currently serves on numerous boards and committees and commissions to ensure equality, promote minority businesses, a safe and vibrant oceanfront and neighborhoods. Laura was an early supporter of Equality Virginia and was the very first business to sign on to the Equality Means Business program to recognize Virginia businesses that protect their LGBTQ employees from discrimination and pledge to welcome LGBTQ customers and clients. Laura created the Drag Yourself to Brunch weekly drag show series over 10 years ago to show support and to embrace the LGBTQ community. And I will tell you from personal experience that Laura's heart and her compassion shows almost no barriers. When she becomes your friend, your passions become important to her, and she will do everything in her power to make sure that you are successful in your goals.
Good evening. My name is Allison White. In 2016, as the first rainbow crosswalk in Virginia Beach was painted at the intersection of 19th Street and Cypress Avenue, Laura was among the 500 participants painting the pavement with bright colors and advocated for this public artwork to become permanent with the 19th Street Corridor CIP project. Croc's 19th Street Bistro was honored by Hampton Roads Pride in 2017 with a Community Service Award for her efforts to help the group fundraise. Laura is an active citizen that often engages with the Human Rights Commission and other grassroots organizations on human rights issues. Through VIBE, she supported the Arts of Humanity collaboration during the season of nonviolence and the dedication of a peace pole in the VIBE district. She is an active supporter of Stand Up for Kids, hosting coat drives and other fundraisers at her restaurant. In 2020, during nationwide racial discord, Laura was a founding member of Listen, Learn, Love, VB, a grassroots effort for human rights. She has also participated in numerous citizen-led observations at the Virginia Beach oceanfront. Tonight, we honor Laura Wood Hubbard.
Do my picture. Thank you, Joe and Allison, and thank you to this Human Rights Commission, Mayor, Vice Mayor, thank you. Well, it's my daughter's 21st birthday tonight. So that's why we're dressed a little fancy. So if you all want to come join me after this ceremony, she would love having all you crash her 20, especially the uniformed officers. That would be fun for Mom. Anyway, but I do want to acknowledge my families here tonight, some of them, my stepmom Rita and Ashley Hughes, and some very dear friends, the Honorable Commissioner of the Revenue, Phil Kellum, and the Honorable Dr. Amelia Ross Hammond. And thank you to those who nominated me, Kate Pittman and Lori Kohlwerk-Kaiser, Andrew Fine, and Councilman Berlucci, Mark Stevens. I'm so humbled. I'm so honored. So I wrote down some remarks I want to get through really quick. Anyway, and so many faces in here remind me of the dozens of projects we've worked on. I mean, from painting rocks to Listen, Learn, Love to Hands Across the Sand. And really last night, thank you to City Council for voting in our Juneteenth vibe collaboration with the Virginia African American Cultural Center for a Juneteenth art walk along the boardwalk. And so for me, I view human rights and the environment really as intimately intertwined. A safe, clean, healthy, and sustainable environment is essential in the enjoyment of our human rights. Which reminds me of this quote by Eleanor Roosevelt, where after all, do universal human rights begin? In small places, close to home, so close and so small that they cannot be seen on any maps of the world. Unless these rights have meaning there, they have little meaning anywhere. And this other quote from Maya Lin. Maya Lin is, exhibiting right now at MoCA. I highly encourage you to see it. She's an architect, artist. She constructed both the Vietnam and Civil Rights memorials. And her quote was, "To fly, we have to have resistance." So think about that. To fly, you have to have resistance. And that starts to make so much sense for people like me. But I do want to plant a little seed to you tonight as we think about our future generations, especially as our city prepares to celebrate 60 years. And as our mayor said earlier, we're a place for all people. So for our city seal, it currently says landmarks of our nation's beginnings. And so what if it read something like a sanctuary for human rights? And think of where we could be in the next 60 years. So I'll close with this. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. That's Margaret Mead. Thank you all again. I hope to see you over at Crocs to crash my daughter's party.
Will Commissioner Sylvia and Rabbi step forward, please?
Our 10th recipient tonight is Tony Zuccaro. During Chief Zuccaro's 40-plus year career with the VBPD, he worked alongside the community and the HRC to ensure and protect the human rights of all residents of Virginia Beach. He helped to build and cultivate open and honest communication with the community, HRC, and the Virginia Beach Police Department, doing so with dedication and compassion. When he served as the VBP liaison to HRC, he developed programs to aid the recruitment of minorities. And although he's not here tonight, we miss him. Okay.
Oh,
We're well rehearsed again.
okay. My dear friend, he also developed other programs such as the Independent Observers Program to have citizens and commissioners perform organized observations at the oceanfront and highly populated events to ensure all citizens and visitors are welcomed, feel safe, and have accommodations for comfort. He truly worked hand in hand with the Commission, devoting many hours above his required time. He provided us with current statistics, data, and other important information and presentations. One of his last duties was to request that the HRC review the Virginia Beach Police Department use of force policy to ensure transparency and the ease of understanding for citizens.
Tonight we honor Tony Zuccaro. Accepting is Jim Sabera.
Thank you, Sylvia. Thank you, Rabbi. Tony asked he's out of town, and he asked if I could accept for him. I think the reason he asked me is because kind of like we talk alike when you hear us talk. What do you think? From Tony. I am honored and humbled to be recognized for my contributions with the Human Rights Commission on behalf of my service with the police department. I greatly appreciate all the support and assistance of the HRC provided over the time I was with the department. Thank you very much, and I wish everybody the best. Tony Zuccaro. I'd like to add something. When Tony was the liaison, he came up with an idea which could be kind of edgy if you think about it, and that was he wanted the HRC to come out on major holidays and observe the police, and then write a report at the end of those observations. And the HRC members who came out were not recognized by anyone. If you remember, we brought you to a central area, everyone came down, you didn't have any markers or anything. Then Tony expanded it, and he brought in the Interdenominational Ministers Conference, and he says, we would like all the folks to observe the police. And they did, and they wrote a report, and then he comes to see me and says, the Department of Justice Civil Rights Division is coming. And of course I said, okay, why? And he said, I invited them. It was brilliant. He invited the Civil Rights Division of the Department of Justice to come and observe the cops and write the report. And he did it because the officers in our department are magnificent at working with crowds. They're magnificent at what they do. They were properly led by guys like Tony, and it was an honor to work with him all the years he and I worked together. Thank you.
While they're taking a picture, I'll share something with you that's personal. A couple years ago, my mother passed away. She was 90 years old. And throughout her entire life, she would always tell me this one Spanish saying, an old Spanish saying, that reads, Dime con quién andas, y te diré quién eres. Tell me who you walk with, and I'll tell you who you are. I know that my dearly departed mother would be very proud to see the company that I'm affiliated with this evening. Thank you so much for coming out. Rabbi?
Last but not least, you may rise and stretch. We've been sitting for hours. It was worth it, but our health, our physical health is at stake. My lady?
Thank you. Oh, this is where, wait a minute, this is where Luis usually makes you do the salsa, but we don't have any salsa music. Right, exactly. Thank you. You can sit down anytime you want. It's in the script.
I got something different.
I know.
It's all right.
Just please be aware of this. I would like to ask us if we give us another round of applause for all of our honorees. And I see Chief Newdigate is out there standing by the door. I don't know if he's protecting us, but thank you for attending. Tonight has been inspiring and uplifting for those who advocate for human rights. We are privileged and honored to have individuals and organizations in our community like those recognized tonight. We encourage each of you, as neighbors, as community leaders, to celebrate our diversity and reaffirm our commitment to building a united, inclusive, hate-free community that is mindful that we are all part of one humanity. The Native American community calls it Matagawasan in the Lakota language. We are all related. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank the following commissioners for being part of the award nominating review committee and tonight's ceremony, including myself, David Calliot as chair, Beatrice Amberman, Joe Burnsworth, Ginger Gincock, Carla Hasseltine, Luis Rivera. I'd also like to thank the Virginia Beach Convention Center for hosting us once more, our Master of Ceremonies, who will be back next year probably, Luis Rivera, Visual and Performing Arts Academy, Salem High School for providing such beautiful music for our reception, the Green Run High School, Color Guard, city photographer Craig McClurg, and the city's videography team. And before we give them a round of applause, the Human Rights Commission has one last acknowledgement, and that is, could I have Dominique McKinnon and Carla Hasseltine come forward, please? This is the funny story behind this is that we have everyone is sneaking around behind each other's back trying to award everybody, but please come up. Our awards programs, we like to keep them dignified, but with some humor and to be relaxed. And even though we have done that behind the scenes, there's a multitude of things that made this happen. And we just want to acknowledge that. They have been our script writers, our producers, our directors, the facilitator coordinators, our food coordinators. They have done everything. And as I've told Dominique, who is our staff liaison, that she will become the heart of the Human Rights Commission, and she has in fact done that, and you just don't know how much we really appreciate you both. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Yes. And again, thank you, everyone. It's, I know that some people in the city don't even know we have a Human Rights Commission, and that's okay with us, because if we can stand behind the scenes and get a feel for what's going on in the city and everything that we need to look at before it becomes a problem, that's okay too. So again, I thank you all. Thank you, everyone, for appreciating us, and we appreciate you. And we have some closing remarks from Rabbi Zuberman.
Thank you, Sylvia. Thanks for your leadership.
Of course. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, thank you. Really honored to be among so many activists, so many who uplift us every day. And thanks for sitting down for so long, you know. Rise again, please. Stand up, stretch. Reach the heavens, because you have touched heaven and earth. You merge them both into one entity. I stand before you foremostly as a family member of the surviving remnant of European Jewry. That is a huge responsibility placed upon me to represent the dead and the living, even as my 102 young old mom in Israel, a survivor from Ukraine, at the time when the Germans were the bad guys and the Russians were the good guys. And I told my mom, you cannot watch TV anymore because her health is failing because of it. We remember those who are being deprived of human rights, even as we celebrate human rights right here in our great community and great nation. Also, this country is so special. Where else would you find a rabbi whose temple Lev Tikva, Heart of Hope, meets at the Church of the Holy Apostles in Virginia Beach, the only church in the world that is both Roman Catholic and Episcopal. Teresa is at the church. And where else would you find a place where a church such as Eastern Shore Chapel Episcopal Church on Laskin Road, that has been around town for over 300 years, has chosen to appoint me as honorary senior rabbi scholar, where I teach them about Jesus. Only in America, my friends. You look so good, you look so good, you look so good. Our one God who brings us together to be one family, gloriously diverse and gratefully united through the divine commandments of loving kindness. In partnership with the Most High, may we yet turn blemishes into blessings, pain into promise, violence into vision, virus into virtue, variant into value, and darkness into light. Let us ever affirm that human rights and human responsibilities go hand in hand, that God's divinity and human dignity are indivisible, and that our dear deserving honorees represent the best in our beloved Virginia Beach and the great Commonwealth of Virginia, with shalom's endless blessings of healing, open harmony. And let us say, Amen, God bless. The celebration continues next door. Shalom.
Thank you.
Master.
Thank you, Rabbi. Just a couple of
Another prayer.
Actually, I took a DNA test and they found out that not only Puerto Rican, but I have some Jewish in me too.
1%.
Who figures?
1% better than nothing.
Congratulations once again to all of our award recipients, our city leaders and staff, presentation organizers, and the Human Rights Commission. That's what I call Virginia Beach teamwork at its best. Let's give them all a warm round of applause. And awardees, please, if you can gather in the front over here, we'll continue with the pictures. And for the rest of you, you can join me over there and invite yourself to some hors d'oeuvres and have a chance to chat with all of our awardees as they come and join us. Thank you so much for being here. Blessings to all of you.